I'm back! Yay! For those of you who have been living under a fucking rock, there is a glitch going around that makes it to where you can enter a locker without pressing the button and you can just exist within the locker. You can't be touched, you can't be grabbed out of it, you can't be hit. Like, totally invincible. It had something to do with flashlights, and Behavior is working on fixing it right now. Now, if you're a normal person, you'll probably think, okay, good. Like, glitches like this should be removed immediately. I'm glad it's not in the game. However, if you are a DBD Twitter user, that's simply just not the case. I'm not gonna lie, I'm malding a little bit solely because of how long Merciless Storm was left in the game untouched, which was also a game-breaking bug. I'm gonna piss off DBD Twitter, but this is really crazy to me considering the fact that Merciless Storm was broken for over a month. I had at least half my killers running it daily. The fact that they've disabled an entire item and several perks but Merciless stayed in is crazy. Funny how this gets kill switched fast, but when Merciless Storm was bugged and regressed the gen to 0% when hitting the skill checks, you guys took nearly a month to fix. Now these are one of the more reasonable posts that you'll find because they're not wrong. I don't know why Merciless wasn't kill switched sooner. A lot of people were complaining about it. It was really annoying to go against. But in terms of severity, I do think that it's a little ridiculous to compare the Merciless Storm glitch to the locker glitch that literally makes you invincible. For those of you out of the loop, what would happen with the Merciless glitch is a survivor would do a gen. If they missed the skill checks at the end of the Merciless Storm, the gen would regress all the way back to 0. So you'd have to do the gen all over again. The Merciless glitch at its worst was used on a doctor who is not really a good killer, and unless you are an absolute legend at hitting your skill checks, that shit was going to regress back to 0. And that was really annoying to go against. But if you were using it on any other killer, it really wasn't that hard to deal with. All you had to do was just hit your skill checks. Unless you're really bad at hitting your skill checks, I don't see this being an issue. I hate comparing the glitches because it just seems so pointless. It really seems like it's just a good way to just start a bad argument or bad fights. Like, what's the point? Let's just be happy this got patched. But what frustrates me is people really comparing the severity of the Merciless glitch to the locker glitch. Let's just say that the locker glitch was in the game just as long as the Merciless glitch. Would these same survivors then say, yeah, no, I'd say the game is pretty balanced. They take just as long to fix these glitches. Like, is that really a fair comparison? A glitch that made gens take longer to do versus a glitch that makes survivors immortal? Would we say this is a fair comparison? Obviously, this glitch is going to get patched immediately. It makes you immortal. Like, this is why I don't understand people are bringing up Merciless and they think they're saying something. It's like, no, bro, this glitch is fucking awful. This glitch has to go. Killers can't do anything, and you have these petty-ass survivors, because some survivors are already petty as it is. They just hold the game hostage for a whole hour. Like, what do you do in that situation? And you want to leave and you can't because the survivor's hanging out in the fucking locker. Like, okay, at least with the Merciless glitch, if you didn't want to do it, you let the killer kill you, he might slug you for 5 minutes, whatever. That's worst case scenario. For killers, worst case scenario, you have to wait a whole fucking hour to leave the game. How could you even compare these two glitches? Like, Merciless is just nowhere near as bad as being immortal as a survivor. Anyways, those were the more reasonable tweets. Let me show you the bad ones. Hens tweeted, "It's insanely pathetic how content creators have no problem streaming and showcasing themselves repeatedly exploiting a bug that literally makes Dead by Daylight unplayable and don't see anything wrong with that." And this person responds, "Simply to have fun in the game. It's not going to be there forever. Lighten up and have fun. Jeez. Oh my god, just let us have fun. Like, we're just enjoying ourselves. Like, so what if the killer's literally miserable and can't hook us at all? Like, we're having fun. What about us? Like, let us have fun." Like, fucking brain dead take. I wonder where all this outrage over this bug was back when killers could M1 to cancel out the decisive strike animation. Someone replied, "That bug didn't allow someone to hold the game hostage. Don't compare the two." He replied, "And yet killers still use it to their advantage, but because they weren't holding the game hostage with it, that makes it okay? Exploits don't have to hold the game hostage to be considered exploits. Get your facts straight, please and thank you." Oh man. This is gonna sound mean, but some people are just fucking stupid. Like, there really is no other way around it. Do you think, okay, let's just say there's a glitch. You have the, let's make something up. The crouching faster animation exploit. And then you have the indestructible survivor exploit. Do you think because they're both exploits, well, they're both, so they're at the same level? It's like, no, bro. One is all the way up here. One is all the way down here. Like, you can't compare the two. You just can't fucking do that. They don't, just because they fall under the category of exploit does not make them the same. They're one of them is, like, significantly unhealthy for the game. The other one is just a little annoying for killer. It's just not at the same level, man. Like, oh my God. Like, I just can't believe some of these arguments that people make. It blows my mind. Survivor's saying the locker bug is revenge for the Merciless Storm and Huntress Lullaby bugs, and killer mains pretending they don't know what those bugs were. Nah, bro, you want to exploit skill checks? I'm invincible. What's good? Like, oh my God. The same person tweeted, God forbid I talk about how I feel about a game I put nearly 10,000 hours in. All I get in return is, she only plays one side. She has no idea what she's crying about. Entitled survivor. Y'all are exhausting and don't grasp the idea that I've existed in this space longer than you have. I just express how I feel. Doesn't give you a right to dismiss that just because you don't know me. You don't want to know me. Aside from the people replying to you and being disrespectful, they have a point. If you only play one side, you're gonna be biased. Especially if you put 10,000 hours, or at least most of those 10k hours into Survivor, you're gonna be biased as fuck. There's no getting around that. Not only that, if you play on a casual level, your opinion is nowhere near as important as someone with significantly less hours than you, but is more competitive. Because chances are, the competitive person, like, let's just say this competitive person has like 2,000 hours, right? So that's like way less than you. If they have a more competitive mindset about the game they're playing, they're probably going to know more in and outs about the game than you ever will, because you just play casually and you only play one side. So hours alone doesn't mean you know what you're talking about. It doesn't mean shit. You don't even know what add-ons you're going against when you go against the killer. Like, you have no idea what's going on half the time. Whereas a competitive person probably has a better mindset about the whole game in general. And the competitive person probably understands, like, hey, both sides are important. You can't just lean towards one side and think, oh yeah, well, this killer glitch is annoying, but this survivor glitch that makes you invincible, perfectly fine. It's revenge. It's like, bro, what? This one's my favorite one. Do you really think survivors holding you hostage is fun? And someone replied, just don't play? And for the final post that I didn't find on Twitter, this locker glitch is hilarious. All you killers whining about it's taking advantage of the integrity of the game. You can say that, but what about when you killers slug at 5 gens for entire health states? What about when you face camp at 5 gens, or tunnel someone out for literally no reason? Taking advantage of those less skilled at the game? I call it payback. Thank you, devs, for letting us have the fun. And for those saying we'll get banned, we'll see. To some extent, I do agree. I think people who camp at 5 gens are just lazy and they don't actually want to get good at the game. They just want to fuck with survivors or just win the easiest way possible and just take advantage of the survivor's altruism super early on just to guarantee a win. You don't really get better that way. It's like basement bubbas. Like, they're not really good at the game. You know what I mean? And obviously, killer slugging super early too is very annoying to deal with. But I just don't think that because of a couple of bad killers that you went against justifies a glitch like this to exist. But I think I made that pretty obvious. In conclusion, play both sides, man. Just play both roles. You have to. If you don't, you're not going to have a good opinion on either side, and you're going to end up like the people on Twitter, or worst, you'll end up in my video. But yeah, play both sides or you will have a bad opinion. I gotta go to work. I'm out of here.